this could go sideways in a hurry from what you and Curtis were talking about pre-interview. You guys, I know he was asking you and telling you about the roads and the storm. It's one of those classic Sasky spring storm. You're a Lanigan guy. You get it. And of course, senior hockey playoffs. Just when you think you're out of the woods, you're not. Drake is in Foam. I know it's a swear word for you. Drake is in Foam Lake tonight going through the snow. You know what it's all about.
Yeah. It's the best time of year, right? It's the best time of year. When you think you're in the springtime, but winter draws you back in. I played golf yesterday here, so that was a fun time. And have you called the highway hotline yet and talked to your favorite buddy there yet?
No, I'm waiting for an update. What's going on around Sintaluda, and if there's windrows on the road.
Windrows on the road by Piapot. Yeah. He has the best job in Saskatchewan media, I think. That guy. I mean, he is. Name a better job where you get higher profile in the wintertime.
I'm trying to think what highway number was it 32? Swift Current to Abbey, Cabri, Leader?
Was that 37 or 32? 32, I think, went down to Shaunavon, didn't it?
I'm going to punch it up right now. I need to know this. I need to know this. It is 32. Yeah. You veer off the number one there, and then you hit, was it Cantour? Success,
Cantour,
Pennant.
Yeah.
And then you roll through Cabri, Skeleton. Skeleton, how you doing? And then you're into Abbey. You're right into the mixer there. Okay, let's start with the news today. Like, if you're in Medicine Hat, how worried are you after the news came down that Caden Lindstrom looks like he's going to play at Michigan State?
Yeah, Aaron Portzline reporting that out of Columbus. He's a pretty trustworthy guy. The thing for me about Caden Lindstrom is, will he play hockey next year too? Like, bad back, like that takes a long time to you're always going to have question marks. And if, in Columbus, MSU is probably an hour, 2 hour drive. Ohio State is right in Columbus. I think if anything, it's an opportunity for the Blue Jackets to keep an eye on him. And these NHL teams have a lot of access to rehab and different things that the junior hockey teams don't have. And we had a player in Kamloops trying to rehab an injury, spend most of his time in Pittsburgh with the Penguins, trying to get that done. So I think it might be more of just we're not sure about his hockey future. We don't know where he's at with his back. So let's keep him nearly close in the mix so he can get back and forth to Columbus and to the Blue Jackets organization if need be.
I wonder too, a little bit, Keener, is the lesser of a load when it comes to the Western League, right? Like that, they say it's as close to the National League with the travel and how many games you play. And then the college, the travel's less. A lot of times, you might be chartering planes and then you don't play as many games. So is that maybe a thing where Columbus is like, come try this?
Maybe, but he missed a whole year of hockey. Like, these are still critical developmental times if you're 17, 18 years old. So, I think playing weekdays and every other day and every other night, sometimes in stretches is good for your development. But I get it, perhaps the load on a back injury. And if you ever had a bad back, like, that's one of the worst things you can have. And maybe you want to lighten that workload a little bit, but I don't think it's a jumping the ship type of a situation there. I just think it's a health, it's a rehab, it's a stay close to the NHL team scenario here, and that's kind of what I would view it at if Aaron Portzline's report turns out to be accurate. I don't have any reason to doubt that it is.
What does your gut say? Do you think Gavin McKenna plays in the Western Hockey League next year?
Yeah, I do. I do think he is in the Western League. Things change all the time, but people close to that organization are very confident he's a Tiger next year, and I don't want to put 2 exhibition games in Whitehorse as the be all end all, but I think a big factor is Gavin McKenna in that, and I know it in the big picture doesn't mean much in an agent driven world, but it's completely smart of the mechanic camp to sort of play both sides. Like, why would you want to rule anything out? Like, why would you want to just, put yourself into a box? I do think he's in Medicine Hat next year without anything changing. That'll be a really good team next season. They'll build around him again. And I fully see him in Medicine Hat next year for sure.
You can't go to a lot of hockey events in and around Regina these days. Last night, I'm sure you saw the video. Pat Canadian.
What venue? What rink was that? Where were you last night? Where was that?
So have you been in the Cooperator Center?
Yeah.
So the C6 where the U of R Cougars play, men's and women's, and then the Rebels, and then the Pat Canadians play there. So it's got the kind of the one side. 1,472 is capacity. There was all of that.
Yeah,
in there.
Like it.
Great atmosphere. Two good hockey teams. Fast. You know the drill. A lot of those kids will be playing in the Western League next year. It was going to be. You can't go anywhere in Regina these days without people saying, "Okay, so are they going to get Maddox Schultz? And how's the lottery going to go? And all this."
Yeah.
And I've texted you. You've been my guy. I'm like, okay, you probably have to tell me 3 times. You dummy this down for me, Keener. The ping pong balls. Who's got the chances? But now we know, right? What's very interesting for you? Is it if Kelowna somehow gets the first pick? Is that the most interesting for you? For me, that is.
I mean, the odds are what, 17% after where they finished, which is not great. It could happen. But I think I somehow want to find a way for Maddox Schultz to play in Regina, in his hometown. Like, we went through an era here just a few years ago where Logan Stankoven, our hometown kid, he played here, and how important that was, not only for the Blazer organization, for the city. Like, it was electric to have a hometown guy, wearing that Blazer be here. And I think it'll be important for Regina to find a way. But right now, Kurt Hill, 57% chance the Edmonton Oil Kings have that go their way. What will Kurt Hill do? He's a smart guy. I think he'll listen to offers on that first pick, but it'll take a bunch of dynamite to blow that pick out of Edmonton. I don't see it happening unless sides get together. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I just don't see Kurt Hill easily parting with a franchise player. And let's keep in mind that they can really build around this in Edmonton, because they'll have I guess they'll have the 7th overall pick too in the draft, because they have Seattle's pick. So they got balls in the air here, big time.
Oh, that is interesting. If Kelowna gets it, and then they need the bodies and the the 19s that are going to be really good.
What I was told about, you saw Maddox Schultz play, but I have it on your good authority that what kind of impact could he make in this league at 15? I was told from a pretty good evaluator that he could play in anybody's top 9 in the WHL next year and contribute. That's
top
basically
9?
Where in their top 9.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I agree. Like, you've never seen him play live?
I haven't. Nope.
Yeah. So, nothing like Bedard. Hits, physical.
Yep.
You just thick.
I've heard that.
He's a big. He made a play last night, and there was a lot of good hockey players on the ice last night. Like, no doubt. He made a play that, and not to say that I got a really good hockey eye or whatever, but just from watching what the kids are learning these days, on his edge to open up and make a play off his skate to his stick to the other guy, like, do. And I'm like, that's next level. And that would translate to any league. Like, you could put him in any league on that. There's obviously things to learn. I just think his hockey IQ, Keener, at 14, put himself in situations is different. So I totally agree. Top 9 easily on a lot of teams. That's interesting that you think Edmonton, and I think Edmonton, if you have it, you hold all the chips.
You do. And why would Edmonton want to do anybody favors? Why would, the Oil Kings, all they've done so far is go from a complete teardown to a WHL championship to a complete teardown to a WHL championship. They've done it twice. Yeah. So they probably view this as that again. And I know, hey, we're all about keeping, the local kids in the local market, but when you're a special talent like that, I don't know what it would take. I don't know what it would take. I don't want to. Let's speculate for fun. Okay, let's speculate for fun.
Let's do it.
Let's say Regina maintains the second overall pick. Edmonton has number 1. Okay, so they swap picks right there, 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton gets a second round, so the second overall pick. Do they get? And now this is a complete speculation. And do they get 2 first rounders in 26 and 27, and maybe a roster player? Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Oh, see,
they have the cards.
I was going to say a roster player and a 1, and then a 2.
No.
But do you think two ones?
Ooh. 2 1s.
Ooh.
Yeah, 2 1s. And you don't have to take it. You don't have to do the deal. But I think that's where we're at. I don't know. Again, I have not. I've talked to Kurt Hill. He thinks Maddox Schultz is a pretty special player.
Yeah.
And we'll see where that goes.
They're the guy selling the Eagle Talon that I always wanted. And the guy knows it. I keep coming back. He knows he has me. That's an inside joke. Okay, let's Chilliwack. Are the Vancouver Canucks going to own this team? Can they own this team?
They could. They got to buck up though. They'll have to pay the piper. And I think this process now that they've entered into will allow some potential ownership groups here to put their hat in the ring and see where they're at. I mean, if we are looking at a Penticton expansion fee of around $15 million, then that's what the tag will likely be. I just think it makes so much sense for the Canucks, like to have that corridor. And by the way, I was listening on your earlier segment with Cody, the fact that he undervalues Vancouver. I mean, I'm from Saskatchewan. I'm not undervaluing that at any time of the year.
What did you like my rebuttal about golfing and a little bit of rain? I'll take it.
Completely.
If we're doing the radio trade game like you guys were doing off thing, Vancouver's on my trade to go to list.
if Cody's blowing out Vancouver, I got a crush for him here waiting to happen for sure. So
Kyle, Saskatchewan, right?
That's back on track. Yeah. Back on track here. Vancouver makes a lot of sense. You got the Canucks in downtown Van. You got the Abbey Canucks in Abbotsford. And then about 20 minutes down the road, down that quarter, Highway 1, you'd have the Chilliwack Canucks. I don't know, the Chilliwack, whatever, but we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, you know the area obviously really well, and you know out there what after that, does it stop? Is there anywhere else? Everyone of course is talking about, okay, now what about out east? What about where? I know Fort McMurray, Winnipeg. We already tried that. I don't know. And then is that enough teams? Because how many more do they have than the O and the Q after we add those two?
Well, I mean, you'd be at 24. The OHL, there's talk about taking in a couple teams there from the USHL.
Yeah.
But apparently the NHL has said, whoa, pump the brakes on this stuff. Let's figure out something that works for everybody so one league isn't rating the top franchises from the other league. And you think about it, that's what the WHL did to the BCHL. They basically made their flagship programs the 23rd and 24th state, in this case franchises, right? Like they did the old annexation, if you will, of 2 top franchises.
Okay, last one for you, Keener. If we're looking across the playoffs here, East and West, will there be a couple of first round upsets? And if so, which ones do you think we could see?
I could see out West. I could see there's a 4-5 out here. That's a Portland Prince George. And for whatever reason, Portland has Prince George's number. It's a 2-3-2 series because that series is the kilometers between those two is wild. So I could see that one, Barney. A wild upset would be 8-1 out here, Seattle and Everett. It doesn't matter where these two teams are seated. They're rivals. There's not a lot of love, and that changes things in a playoff series. I don't think it happens, but it could. And out East, I mean, you look at those matchups, I don't really see, the only, and I think you referenced it early, the Edmonton Prince Albert series. Would we even call that an upset? I know it's a 2-7 bracket, but would we really even, if Edmonton won that series in 6 or 7, would we think that's an upset? I don't think so.
All right, buddy. Well, you got me jealous because you're golfing. There's no doubt about it. I'm thinking about how much
I'm jealous of that. I'm jealous of that shirt. You got a great country shirt on today.
I'm going to a country.
You look like you're going two-stepping today.
I'm going to a country western concert tonight. That's why.
Oh,
with Mrs. S.
Playing? What do you got?
Scotty McCreery at the casino. He's playing arenas.
Oh.
There was nowhere else for him to play in Regina, so the casino got him. Sold out like that.
Nice.
Yeah, a little damn
Looks
straight.
Like you could either do that. You could find a little like Wood Mountain Rodeo and Lane Frosted up there. You got a good cowboy shirt on tonight.
What a soundtrack. 8 seconds. Oh, McBride and the Ride. Let's go. Keener, let's catch up in a few weeks, buddy. Thank you.
Okay, good chatting there. Have a good weekend.
WHL Insider Jon Keen. Great follow on Twitter.